Alright, time for my round 4 game of this month's REV GP. I'm playing 4-color Constance against my opponent, who is on Esper Enchantments. Oh, okay, that I don't like this matchup. They have counter spells and they have enchantments. I don't like dealing with enchantments. So this hand has no early game. They're a pretty slow deck though, right? And no, they have 1-drops. So I can keep this hand, but I don't think this is fast enough. They're on the play, huh? Yeah, then my hand is definitely not fast enough. So I'll mulligan, even though this is a control matchup where cards probably matter, and this hand's even worse, but I don't want to go down to 5, so I'll keep this. And I'll bottom one the redeveloped cityscapes. I don't need all of them. So I'm hoping to get some good draws. 2 drops would be nice. And there's okay, so it's their play. Planes and pass. Alright. No 1-drop, and that's a planes from me too. Redevelop is probably fetching forest and mountain then. Actually no, it has to fetch planes. So I need both planes, and I also need okay, so this is a tough decision. I don't want to exile Grand Constance because it will become relevant way later on. So I guess I do exile my other planes and hope that this doesn't screw me in the future. Do I have more planes left? Oh, that's all my planes. Yeah, that's actually kind of bad. Should have actually counted my lands beforehand. Well, in that case, forest, and then do I grab the mountain here? I don't think mountain gets me anything, right? I'll grab the mountain anyways, just to get all my colors. Like the mana requirements aren't that tough early game, unlike previously. Okay, and I guess that's my white source. Yeah, this is my white source. The next turn I get to play Banish to the Isle if they try to jam an enchantment of their own. I'm actually hoping that that happens because otherwise it's bad for me. Like they have, so since they're on 3 mana now, they're probably holding up Ifara's Judgment, which funnily enough isn't doing much right now because I have no plays right now. So I have that going for me at least. But that just means yeah, I play Fungal Mire. If I top that cassette, I can play it by playing Mountain, so I'm fine with that. Does Archon have any targets? Okay, good. There's enough Archon targets. Like, they have 3 Demographers, and that's their only creature. I mean, like, they have more creatures technically, but Demographer is the only good Archon target. Beats of Whisper. Okay, I guess that's getting exiled. But yeah, Demographer, that's my only good Archon target. And they're still holding up 2 mana. So 2 mana is Omen of Deception. So those are 2 counter spells I need to play around. 1 on 2 mana and 1 on 3 mana. And also, like, I drew a bunch of Archons, which is bad for me because these guys do nothing onto this board state. I might like, if they make something off the Feast of Whispered Knives, I might randomly have an Archon target. So does that mean I hold Banish to the Isle? What scarier stuff do I need to worry about? I think it's just Ifara, and then they have a random Planeswalker. They have Stormscraper, but Stormscraper is untargetable due to its ward, so I guess I do just banish whatever is in play first. Like, if this eats a counterspell, that's actually really good for me. So they let happen. Could mean that they have their own banish or something to get rid of my banish. So they're definitely holding counterspells, which is a bad sign for me, but like, I think the way for me to win the game is to jam a bunch of Archons and hope that it eats up all their counterspells, which is not a good play, or which isn't a very solid plan because they're more than fine. Like, they're more than happy to just let the Archons resolve because they do nothing in this board state. But I'm going to jam it anyways because I have no other plays. They're playing a really heavy control game right now, which is well, I mean, it's interesting that they're playing like this because they definitely could be playing out more proactive stuff. So I'm assuming like their hand is just entirely counter spells. The problem with Omen, just like playing stuff into Omen, is that it still sticks on the board afterwards. So it's not even bad for them to just play this thing out to counter something, because that increases their enchantment count. So I think my plan right now is just hope that they play badly and exhaust all their counter spells into the wrong targets, and then Grand Constance gets me over the final hill. I mean, if they play a Forest here, then I'm more than happy to banish it. They have their own banishes, so I'm assuming like banish is probably, if I banish their Fire, my banish is probably meeting their banish pretty soon. 5-drop. What do they have? Oh, that thing has Ward 2, and I can't really do anything about. Actually, I can banish that, and I probably should banish it because they're tapped out right now. Yeah, because it encourages them to tap out. Like, I really wish I could be Archoning this thing, but actually I can't. I can play Archon flipped. and leave the banish for Afara for like any Afaras in the future. This also puts a negative clock on them. So the downside of if I don't banish that thing, then it's also contributing towards enchantment and devotion count. So what do I actually care about? Like, do I care about those things? And let me see. No, not really, right? So they have the 100-handed pillars. So they have the devotion manlands, which could matter later on. But like, I mean, I guess I'll play banish because Archon technically has more uses. Or I mean, technically, I should be playing Archon Flick because banish technically has more uses. But I think if they tap out to play Ifara, then they hold up counter spells. Okay, yeah, that's also really bad. Like Archon count is a negative clock against them. Okay, I think I've convinced myself to just play Archon flipped because like I might need banish for something else later on. So might as well make use of this thing that I can actually play right now. And then yeah, play out a land, and I have Constance mana next turn, but they definitely have counter spells for it. So I mean, I could just jam Constance into a counter spell, but that feels really bad. I'm certainly hoping that they tap out for something here. Like if they have a second Storm Scraper, they might jam it, and then that gives me a chance to Consonance. No, there's just holding up stuff. Well, I mean, actually, that's Skotha. Okay, yeah, that's good. That can probably eat a counter spell, and then it comes back from the graveyard. So that gets me past. Actually, no, they have all modes of Afara's Judgment. Yeah, that's something that I should have thought about. So like exiling Storm Scraper. I mean, not exiling Storm Scraper means that they have 3 blue devotion, which means that they get 2 modes with Afara's Judgment. So they get to do the counter target spell draw card thing, which is really bad for me. But yeah, I just jammed Skotha into their possible counter spell. I play a land right now because Skotha untaps my land, so might as well. But yeah, like if you have a counter spell, I'd appreciate if you use it here. My opponent's thinking, which is probably a good sign. It means that they're not snap countering it. Okay, and they let it resolve. So they're probably just going to hard remove it with something. So actually, yeah, they probably have like Omen of whatever to hard remove this guy. So jamming Grand Constance right now is bad because it gets countered and then they hard remove this guy and then I have like nothing left. So I should just leave this guy around and then bomb it later. Yeah. And no, they're not going to hard remove it end of turn. So they don't have removal for this thing either. So maybe they're just holding a single counter spell. Maybe they're holding a board wipe. Like using a board wipe on a single guy would be really good for me because, or would be a really good exchange for me. Yeah, they had it. Why did they not end of turn play that? Okay, I guess they just drew it then? I'm not sure. So the problem right now is that Afara's Judgment is a hard counter, so like, okay, second Grand Constance. Okay, so the plan here is Skotha and then Grand Constance. Can I double Grand Constance? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 10 mana. I have 10 mana in total if I do that. Okay, I think the play here, yeah, this turn is activate Skotha and then try to Grand Consonance, and if that fails, then they probably that forces them to spend their counter spell, and then the turn afterwards I Grand Consonance again and hope that it does something. Alternatively, I can just jam Grand Consonance this turn. Do they have main deck Grave Hate? They don't. So I could do something like jam Grand Consonance this turn, and then next turn Skotha Grand Consonance. Not like the problem. Or I can just keep waiting. How much mana would I need to get Skotha to get me 2 Grand Constances? Oh, well, way more than this. Like 8 lands, so that's 4 plus that's 12. Yeah, that's still not enough. So like, am I overthinking stuff? I could just jam. Maybe I wait until I have good reason to use Skotha before I go for it. Yeah, I'll just jam Grand Constance into their Afara's Judgment. Like they do get the counter and draw, which is unfortunate, but whatever. They manage to get me with that. Next turn, I'll Skotha into Grand Constance and hope that they don't have another counter spell. Hoping they like somewhat tap out. Are they Ifara? Yeah, that's Ifara. So also that means that even if Grand Constance gets countered, I still get to banish the Ifara. In fact, I might just banish Ifara first, maybe. I don't know if they have Omen. I can't tell because there is a reason to use Ifaras instead of Omen there. Alright, so I guess Skotha, banish. Like if they have a counter spell, they're going to. If they have a counter spell, they're probably going to use it. Yeah, how much do I want to play around Omen? Actually, Buried Colossus means that like, right? Actually, Buried Colossus makes my play actually usable because then that means even if everything trades, I get Buried Colossus out, and then I start doing Buried Colossus speed, and that kills them in 3 hits. So yes, I will go for it. So activate Skotha, and I'll just like use these guys. All right. So they discard a seal away, which is yeah, that's good because now that means Buried Colossus has one less thing that can answer it. So do I Consonance or do I jam Banish first? Like I jam Banish first, right? Or yeah, because like if Fry gets banished and then I play Consonance and it gets countered, the board state's still pretty good. If I play Banish and they counter it instead of Consonance, then that's extremely good. So yes, I will go for this line instead. There. I think if they had an Omen of Deception, they would have used it while Far's out on board, which actually means that it's bad for me to do it in this order. Well, if it's Far's Judgment, then whatever, they got me. I think, yeah, I just do this. Like, if they get me, they get me. Oh, okay, good. They didn't have any counter spells left. So let's see what I get. Oh, this is less good than expected. Yeah, land, enchantment, creature. At least these guys draw me more cards, so I can't complain too much. So then, yeah, land, enchantment, creature. Bomb the rest. Banish to the Isle gets like I'll exile a Omen of Deception with that, I guess, because I have no better targets. I mean, I can't complain too much. It still gains me some life. Oh, they're going to sack it now, right? It doesn't gain me life anymore if they do that. Anyways, this is naming white because I don't want to accidentally massacre myself out white again, because I keep doing that when I play these decks, and then Wrath of Visionary is going to flip me Forgotten Cultivator. Okay, that I can't complain too much about that. Unfortunately, I also milled another Grand Consonance, so I have 1 Grand Consonance left in my deck somewhere, which is not ideal. And then play Buried Colossus. Yeah, but I do get to start slamming with this thing, and this thing costs like 2 to activate right now because I have so much White Devotion. Or actually, if I don't get anything useful, I can just start blinking, or I can start wandering the Elrantha Visionary, and that thing also gets me cards to do stuff. And I still have all my Planeswalker in my deck, so there's lots of good hits off Elrantha Visionary. Demographer. Okay, sure. Discard the board wipe, and they make the thing that surveils. Alright, so Oration Kavas, not that helpful. So I guess I just do I play Forgotten Cultivator first? I don't think there's a huge reason for me to do that. Is there anything that I want to play pre-combat? Well, I guess Basilia would be a good pre-combat thing. Yeah, tapping like this means that doesn't mean anything. I can still access all my colors. Yeah, I'll just Forgotten Cultivator first to see what I flip. And like they could have counter spells, but they're at 1 card in hand, so it's less likely. And I get Basilia, nice. Or do I grab Cassette and kill the Demographer? Cassette also plays around stuff better, I think. Basilia is a stronger card in the vacuum, but they also have lots of removal and board wipes. So I think Cassette going wide is probably better. So yeah, I'll take Cassette over these guys. And I played this guy pre-combat, I think. I mean, I empty my hand here. Oh, actually, do I want to leave stuff in my hand for Forgotten Cultivator? No, I think I can wander around to Visionary, and that usually gets me something good to play. And I don't think they can punish me with anything. Yeah, so I just played Cassette now. And let's see if they do anything against that. They let it happen. So Cassette kills the Demographer. Make 2 creatures. So now, also Buried Colossus no longer dies to Omen of Slaughter, which is nice. Do I even need it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's literally 1 mana to activate now. Alright, cool. So let's start swinging. And okay, that's good. They're down to 6. And let's see if they've found a way to get out of this. Do they take for that? Alright. I think they're dead. By the way, by how like they're playing right now. Bash. Okay, that does something. That can actually bash. Oh, yeah, that works. Or actually, no, it's actually bashed under this thing. So if I get rid of this guy, then it comes back as an actual creature, which is kind of hilarious. And I do have one more. I have 1 more bash left in my deck, which will be able to blow that thing up. Oh, and Planeswalker. Okay, so that thing. I think my opponent might be able to get back into the game this way. So they banish something else. They can banish my banishes, or they can banish the Elrantha Visionary, which prevents me from swinging. Okay, they're going to get Feast of Whispered Knives back, it seems like. So I can still wander Elrantha Visionary to look for cards. Actually, they drew so they can kill Aranta Visionary end of turn, and then yeah, now my board's pretty empty. I still have Buried Colossus to go to do stuff. Oh, what does this do? They're going to plus it. Okay, that's fine. And yeah, they're going to kill that. So I still have lots of good top decks. Heart of the Glade is not one of them. Yeah, I could have kept Cassette in hand to activate Forgotten Cultivator, but I think I kind of just got a bit greedy there. Do I kill Sovius? Actually, I don't think I got too greedy, all things considered, because like if I didn't play Cassette there, then they would have just exiled the Forgotten Cultivator instead, and that also wouldn't have worked out that well for me. Do I just go faced here then? Like they draw 2 cards. Hopefully it's not anything too impactful. My opponent gets to attack and make some more bash, which gets rid of more bashes on their end, and then Ifara becomes an actual creature. And okay, that's actually really bad for me. I think I just swing everything at face and hope that works out. Like I knocked him down to 1 life. Oh yeah, God, I'm 1. Wait, so if I top decked literally anything that activated Forgotten Cultivator, I would have gotten the win here. Oh well, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 5 to activate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I definitely could have enabled Forgotten Cultivator if I drew better. But I don't think I can complain too much because I already got my consonances off. Like my deck already did its thing, so I can't complain too much there. Anyways, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Activate Buried Colossus. Does this thing copy stuff? It doesn't. Okay, so I'm fine there. Yeah, I just knocked them down to 1 life and then hope that it goes the distance. And I'll play out my land because there's no reason to not play out my lands right now. Like, I don't have any ways to make use of extra lands in hand, and my opponent does not have discard. But, like, I mean, Buried Colossus is still a huge threat right now. It doesn't have trample, so if they get rid of the thing calling back Ifara, then Ifara comes back and then starts blocking Buried Colossus. But GG. Did they... Okay, looks like they didn't find anything. So that game definitely got a bit closer near the end than it really needed to, but I can't complain too much. So post forward, I bring in club promoters. I get to bring in all 4 club promoters because I couldn't think of what else to put in my sideboard, so I just put club promoters, and it seems like it's paying off. So cut some Archons maybe. I mean, Archon does have targets, but not great targets. Sunfa is still useful even if the first part does nothing some of the time. Cut Lay Shards because that's usually my first cut. And cut a Forgotten Cultivator maybe? No, Forgotten Cultivator is good, right? That thing gets me sustain or it gets me cards and stuff. Maybe Cassette's not great. Cassette knocks out small guys, but yeah, maybe that's not that good. I mean, I also brought in a bunch of creatures, so maybe I start trimming on creatures. Actually, no, I brought in a bunch of 3-drops, so yes, I trimmed the 3-drops, which include Forgotten Cultivators. I guess I keep the Archons in because they're 5-drops. Does any of the other cards make sense? Board wipes are bad. Aspirant's Bane is kind of funny, but I don't think it's good. Like if it goes up to 7, if we get up to 7 mana and this thing actually is good, then 5 mana to cast a spell. They can just answer that thing with a 3 mana spell, or actually they just answer it with the Edict, so it whacks them for 5. So yeah, I don't think that's good. So it looks like I just cut all my artifacts and put in all my club promoters. So it makes the consonance ratios worse, but I think it's fine. And this hand has very little action, but a lot of lands. I think I actually keep this because I think I'm willing to play this because Aranta maybe digs me into something to do, and then at least I will get to enough mana to like play all my things, and then I can just hope to top deck well into my opponent's draws, and that gets me there or something. Of course, there's also like the nightmare scenario of just not drawing anything good, or me just drawing a bunch of lands after keeping a 5-lander. But I just hope that doesn't happen. I mean, like if I have the uncanny ability to pull constances when I really need them, then maybe I can use the same ability here to not pull lands when I don't need to. They have turn 1 redeveloped, and maybe I should also play redevelop just to thin my hand and thin my deck. So like, what do I redeveloped grabbing a forest and exiling a forest for something else. Exiling a forest for a forest. That seems bad. Yeah, I just play this thing tapped. I mean, like, these lands get me all the colors I need, so I don't really need redeveloped Cityscape to do stuff for me. But I probably should use it, like, before I play my last basic, because if I don't do it then the card suddenly becomes not useful, because it forces me to pitch a card in my hand in order to become a land. It seems like my opponent is going to turn 1, grab the island, and then Or turn fetch island, grab plane. No, well, whatever, other ways around, but close enough. And they are holding up a counter spell. All right. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty happy running mana harvesters into your Omen of Deception because that's less stuff to worry about later on. But do I play forest or plains here? I don't think it matters, but I'll play forest anyways because I like the color of green. So mana harvesters, yeah, I jam mana harvesters because I think having star studded on the field is more impactful than having mana harvesters on the field. Okay, come on. Let's see if this gets countered. I actually do need this to get countered because, well, like if next turn they hold up Elrath, hold up Ifara's Judgment, I think I do just jam Elrath the Visionary into it because that means okay, and their Omen, yeah, except that's expected and acceptable. So yeah, the real problem here is that if they hold up counter spells on 3, do I have to jam Elrath into it? And I've mentioned that I think the answer is yes because Ifara's Judgment is just okay, that's, yeah, now I can just curve Aranth, or I can jam Arantha. If it gets countered, I'll just cassette and minus. Yeah, I'll just play cassette next turn. Like, they can't have infinite counter spells. So, if they have counter spells all the way up the curve, then so do I. Or I can jam Star-Studded. I can actually jam Star-Studded flipped. Problem is that it doesn't do anything to impact the board, so, like, next turn, Arantha is most definitely eating it Ifara's Judgment. Can I afford to play like that? Like, just try to 1-for-1 everything on my opponent. I mean, like, if I can get Ifara's out of their hand before they do anything else, then I think I'm probably happy. In other words, like, the best time for me to get them to use Ifara's is now. So how bad is Star Set it into their board state? What can they do to kill it? They have a decent number of things that they can do to kill it. So, like, they might not counter it, and then they just use a kill spell, and then they still have Ifara's left over, which I don't really want to happen. Yeah, I've convinced myself to jam Elrath the Visionary. And they let it happen. Okay, cool. Let's see. Ooh, nice. Unfortunate that I milled Grand Constance, but whatever, I got Vasilia out of the deal, so now I have stuff all the way up the curve. They're going to end of turn sack Omen of Deception. Interesting. Did they really not have anything better? Well, let's see what they play next turn. You could just play the Planeswalker. Would that be bad for me? No, I guess they're still holding Ifara's Judgment. I mean, if they're just going to keep holding Ifara's Judgment, I'm fine with that. Ooh, Club Promoter. Maybe I should think about not, So I can't play Redevelop Cityscape this turn because I can't afford to take a turn off this turn. Like, I can jam Cassette, which gets countered, and I'm happy because that leaves Vasilia open. Or I can, I mean, I'm definitely jamming Cassette this turn. Maybe Vasilia is better to jam because that thing, like, I think Cassette's actually better on the empty board in this matchup. Or is it? I mean, Vasilia flips and then it just gets killed. I can flip it into Hexproof thing, but then it dies to Edicts and stuff. And they run a decent number of Edicts. They also run board wipes. I'm not sure if they boarded out their board wipe, but I don't think so because I do play to the board. Yeah, I think I jam Cassette into a counterspell. Oh, I jam Vasilia into a counterspell because Vasilia is actually the worst thing to get countered here. And then next turn I actually have the option of Cassette into Star-Studded, right? And then I guess Redeveloped Cityscape is just never going to become a thing, which is disappointing, but whatever. Yeah, I'm going to jam Vasilia. Alright, show me the... Oh, what? Okay. In that case, yeah, I have Vasilia plus and make the potion and just pass. Does Omen Slaughter kill Planeswalkers too? Oh god, it does. Well, good thing I have Arantha Visionary, but I guess if they have removal for Arantha plus some way to kill... Oh, so that means I probably should have flipped Vasilia to avoid... Or flip Vasilia into the Hexproof thing to avoid Banish the Isle being an answer to this. Because, like, paying 5 mana for a potion is not very impactful. No, they're still going to do nothing. I mean, I guess they're doing Banish next turn. No, if they banish me, I just Club Promoter in response, and then that blows... Oh, this kills Planeswalkers too. I forgot. Okay, well, that's extremely bad for me. But at least Cassette is left over, so, like, yeah, I just play Cassette, and then... Can I Cassette into... Star-Studded? No, I can't. Yeah, I just play Cassette and hit their face. I guess redevelop it will be exiling the mountain, I guess. Okay, so I guess like not flipping Vasilia was correct there because at least I get a potion left over for my troubles. Yeah, so actually I inadvertently made the correct play there. So yeah, I jam Cassette and I'm pretty happy with Cassette their face so that I get some board presence and pass the turn. I don't think they have toughness space removal, so I don't need to use the potion right now. And I'll end up turn crack, redeveloped, exiling Mountain from hand, because I don't really need a second red source. Notably, I still don't have Consonance yet, even though I'm getting pretty close to Consonance mana, but hopefully I just will it into being, like all the times I've done before. Okay, there's a Pharah, and I can't kill it with Club Promoter, so that's troublesome, but whatever. Forest. Do I need a second black source? I don't think so. I'll grab a second white. No, I don't need that many white sources either. Maybe I do grab the second black source. Okay, what do I need black sources for? I need it for Skophos and Archon. That's literally it, right? Yeah, so I don't think I need that many black sources. I'll just grab another forest because why not? I guess that's a good reason. Grab forest. So then, Buried Colossus. Okay, that's even better. The problem right now is, well, Cathette pluses and I whack them in the face for 5, but then they start going insane with Ifara. Or they start going nuts with Ifara, which I don't really appreciate. They could find their way into another of those board wipe spells, so I think I'll leave the potion behind. They have 3 copies of the Fall of Burgeonon. Even if my board gets wiped, I still get to start doing Buried Colossus thing. So maybe I do play Star Set to flip so that I can always ensure that I have Buried Colossus available. And that feels bad. Yeah, I think I do care enough about like playing bodies onto the board that I'm going to not play Star Set flipped. Or maybe I do. I still can't decide. Okay, so if I play Star Set flip, how does that contribute to Buried Colossus count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I'll have Buried Colossus active if I play this thing flipped. I think that's actually worth it, so I will do that. Even though like maybe having more creatures in play is better, but whatever. Oh yeah, right, Vigilance. And, yeah, let's see if they counter this. I doubt that they do, so I mean it just happens, but also I still have drop active on the Club Promoter. Oh, they are going to counter it. Okay, good. I managed to eat up a counter spell on something that didn't really matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cassette is still contributing 2 devotion to Buried Colossus, so that thing costs -2, so that's 7 in total to activate. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's still nowhere near activating this thing. I think I just need to start finding my bash to the Isles, and then that means I can start activating Buried Colossus way easier. They're playing Storm Scraper. Okay, that thing dies to Club Promoter. Good. And their shield's down right now, so that's good for me. Nascent Light Vein. Alright, more lands, but so whatever. With the lands, this has ward 3, so I just have to pay 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which I totally can't pay, which is great for me. I play out the planes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Blow up Storm Scraper. Do I keep around the potion still? Like, do I plus Cassette or minus Cassette? I think I plus Cassette here in case I need to minus Cassette next turn. Because if I pump board wipes, they're still tapped out. And then I start swinging with Buried Colossus afterwards. Well, I'm still pretty far away from swinging with that. Well, I think plusing. So what does more damage over time? Like what? Actually, what's more likely? Do they likely have another board wipe? They're definitely going to dig for one. So I think I actually do go for like the damage breaks even if I hit face, right? Or no, +1 deals +1 damage. Yeah, actually, I'll start cashing in the cassette, and then swing with these guys. And like normally, I would be thinking a bit more about if I like how I want to spread out how much I'm committing to creatures versus planeswalkers or versus non-creatures. But since their board wipe kills both creatures and planeswalkers, it doesn't matter. So I'm just doing the thing that forces them to wipe the hardest. They're going to grab a planes with their redeveloped cityscape. I still can never pronounce that card right. You know, if I actually used the potion, I might have actually just had lethal way earlier. I think this is lethal if they don't wipe my board, or at least deals with cassette somehow. Right? That's like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got 12 damage coming through if nothing happens. Plus a Buried Colossus. How close is this to activation? 1, 2, 3. So 3, 8 minus or 9 minus 3 is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, good. I did use the correct. I did do the correct thing with cassette because I got all my value off of cassette before it got exiled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They are kind of close to. They're going to play 100 Handed Pillars tapped. All right, so time to figure out what they could have in hand right now. to not die to Buried Colossus swings, because I'm going to play Forest right now. So one, actually, one. So that's 8 to activate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm 1 mana off activating Buried Colossus this turn. What are the chances that they have lots of board wipes? Like if their only board wipe is the Fall of Burgeonon, so that's the only board wipe I need to play around, right? So if they have Fall, then what actually matters here? If I swing with my entire board, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, get to whack them for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They could have Afara's Judgment right now, which would be annoying. They could also have CO away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. I slam them for 9, and then next turn I have 9 coming in again. Maybe that's like, is that good? So this doesn't gain any life. So like I whack them down to 3, and then they need to find some way of dealing with this board state. If they wipe and then I play Basilia afterwards, which is actually bad, maybe I get them down to 1. Is that good? Is that better than what I'm doing currently though? Well, the thing is, I have Buried Colossus active to turn after next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Assuming one thing sticks. So I don't want to give them targets for Afara's Judgment right now. I think I will just swing out like this. And they take it in the face, go down to 3. How much do I want to play around stuff? So what can they do if I don't do anything? What can they do end of turn? They sack the Omen of Deception and try to scry for something. Yeah, I think that's actually acceptable, so I'll just pass without doing anything. They're going to scry with Omen of Deception. If they have a board wipe, they have to use it now, which is good because that also partially taps them out. If they have another land, then I guess they can wipe and also hold up Afara's Judgment. And they have 2 modes on Afara's right now because they have enough White Devotion to do that. Now let's see what they have. It has to be a board wipe, I think. I don't think they have any other outs. So they did play out the planes, so they can wipe the board and hold up a counter spell this turn. It's going to be banished to Isle. Okay, that's fine. So they're still dead to attacks unless they wipe something else. That doesn't do it. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Afar is a thing now. And they can activate 100-handed pillars for almost free. And they're still holding up Afar's Judgment. So that's bad. Mana Harvester, that's not useful. Actually, it's useful because it contributes to Devotion. But I should just play out my entire hand right now, and I can't get past Afara. That's a problem. If I activate Buried Colossus, then if I activate Buried Colossus and swing, they need to block Buried Colossus, so that Afara's probably going in front of that, and 100-handed pillars goes in front of something else, and I smack them for 3, which doesn't actually get me any closer to where I need to go. Or I mean, it does get me closer, but not fast enough. And they can start drawing cards with this thing too, so maybe I should have jammed Basilia in it last turn. Yeah, maybe I should have. I mean, I always play Light Vein here. Jamming Basilia lets me attack with a big enough club promoter to it doesn't do anything. Okay, so maybe I kind of just have to go wide right now. Except Basilia doesn't facilitate that because yeah, they have too many cards in hand. I need to like get something better than this. Activate Buried Colossus, swing with everything. I mean, that is a plan, but I think they have inevitability right now because all these guys. So I just jam Basilia, get countered, and then I can't swing afterwards, which is a problem. But so it taps them out at least. So then that doesn't actually enable me to make any attacks. I guess I can swing my board at them and knock them down to 3, but then that again doesn't do anything because Basilia, Afara's Judgment just negates all that. I think the play here might just be to play Basilia and hold stuff back, which is like really. I don't like this play, but I guess I'll do it. Yep, Afara's Judgment, and like it's actually correct to play Mana Harvesters here because I need the Devotion to activate Buried Colossus. So yeah, looking for Consonance top decks right now. Buried Colossus is still pretty useful because I think I'm getting it. I think I'm at enough mana to just naturally activate this thing, and 8/8 forces Afara to block it every turn. Beast of Whispered Knives. Okay, that's going to slowly kill my guys. They pass. They're probably holding up another counter spell. Oh, okay, they kill my thing. Come on. Oh, yeah. So that's the Grand Consonance top deck that I asked for. But the problem right now is that they have counter spells, and I don't want to jam Grand Consonance into a counter spell. I mean, okay, so they likely have counter spells. If I swing with my entire board at them, will they activate 100-handed pillars? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this thing's free to activate, which is a problem. I think I jam Grand Consonance anyways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I can't pay for a single Omen of Deception. If they have another Afara's Judgment, then there's not much I can do. And I think the correct play is to jam it because I actually don't have any better plays. Going for Buried Colossus doesn't get me anywhere, or does it? It just bounces off Afara because that thing has Indestructible, and they counter, and then they draw a bunch from Dormant Monstrosity. Yeah, I think I just need to top deck 2 Grand Consonances in a row. That's my best out right now. And I mean, it also exhausts their counter spells for if I ever top deck Banish or Archon. Like, Archon would actually be good here because I just stick all my Archon auras onto a single creature and it kills the opponent in like a few turns. But yeah, I just go for it. I'll tap it like this. Alright, show me the counter spell. Yep, happens. I pass, and they get to pull further ahead. Going to draw more cards too with Dormant Monstrosity. You know, this would be a great time for Ascender's Bane, or I forgot what that card was called. The red guy on my sideboard. Aspirant's Bane. Yeah, this would have been a great time for Aspirant's Bane because, or if I actually knew that, or if I actually boarded it in, I would have had to work harder to make it castable. But like, this would actually be in a decent time for it because I mean, so like jamming it, they can't counter it, and then I tried to swing. This thing doesn't have trample, so it just bounces off Afara, and never mind, this thing does nothing. I guess like this plus Spirit Colossus gets to push some damage through, but this thing also just dies to removal, so I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a problem. Going to plus it. So I need another Consonance top deck, and I need them to not top deck a counterspell. But like maybe I can get something Dark-Setted, so that's a creature at least. I can activate Buried Colossus and swing at I can swing everything at Sylvius, which does nothing. I can swing everything at face, and then also activate Buried Colossus, which technically does something. I think my mistake this game was spending way too much time trying to play around board wipe that never came, and just giving them too much time to stabilize. I should have used the potion way earlier, because if I used the potion, I might have actually had lethal. Like, potion was out for 2 turns, so that would have been 4 extra damage over the course of the game, and that might have actually been enough to push for lethal. But now it's like too late for that, so yeah. So I just activate Buried Colossus and swing. Bounce it off far, and then I swing everything else at face and knock them down to 3. I don't think that's good. I think I just stare at them for a bit longer. I just play out the guy and pass, and if they board wipe, then whatever. I'm looking for Banish to the IO mostly. Or Grand Consonance would also be a good top deck. I mean, they have to be out of Far's Judgments eventually. I mean, they're drawing tons of cards each turn, so they could also just have 2 Omen of Deceptions, and that also stops me. But like, actually, they have both. Like, they have these guys in the graveyard, so it's less likely that they have every single counter spell in hand. I just need to top deck Constance while they don't have any counter spells. I mean, that's my motto for the past few turns. Dormant Monstrosity again. Oh, and this thing's an actual 4/4 now, so that's also blocking Buried Colossus. Archon combination would still actually be useful here, because I just stick Archon Aura on one of their guys and they die in turns. And if Archon survives a turn, then I sack it. They're actually killing stuff now too. Oh, well, this finds me stuff, so like maybe I don't think they're going to counter this, so that's good. Unfortunately, there's actually not that many good things to grab because I boarded out all my. Oh, they're countering this too. Oh, if they're going to waste more, they're drawing cards off first. But if they're going to waste Afara's Judgments on this guy, I'm more than happy for it to happen, because they only have 3 Afara's Judgments before they're out of, they only have 4 Afara's Judgments, so they only have 2 more before they're just out of Afara's Judgments, and I get to resolve a Consonance. Alright, darn, that's not the flip not what I wanted to see. That's like exactly at the wrong time too. So I can blink this guy. I guess it's better than nothing. I'll just do it. Like, they can counter this if they want to, and in that case, I'm happy because I ate a counter spell. Cool. Although that's not the counter spell I wanted it to eat, because I could just pay for this or I could just pay for this thing through with a Consonance. They're up to 7 again. They can just start. They can go on offense soon too. Yeah, I have enough life where I'm just willing to take it in the face because they're down at 6. So yeah, they're down at 6. So I'm more worried about getting my own guys through. Okay, they're going to kill something too. Oh, well, finally got something useful. Okay, so this thing's ultimate is useless. I got banished to the Isle, so I'm going to play it and they're going to counter it, but at least that gets another counter spell out of their hand. And if they let it resolve, I'm going to... Yeah, they're not going to let it resolve. Okay, so that's one more Afara's Judgment's down. I just need them to use their last Afara's Judgment, and then for me to draw Consonance, and I'll be able to resolve a Consonance and hopefully do something against its board state. But meanwhile, I'll just have to wait. Another Omen of Deception. They're just flashing these things out. Maybe they deck first, actually. Like, they can't prevent themselves from drawing, right? It's a force to draw, so maybe if I can survive long enough, they just deck themselves. Although, like, this isn't exactly helping. Could I have activated Beard Colossus? Yeah, I could have. Or no, I couldn't have, but I could have thought about leaving it up. And they pass. What do I draw? That's completely useless. Oh, and they kill one of these guys too. Okay, well, next turn I'm probably trading these guys off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I can activate this thanks to Club Promoter, providing enough devotion. So, yeah, I pass, and let's see what they do. They're activating this now. Are they swinging out? Am I just dead here? I have to block. Okay, I should have left more stuff back, honestly, because then I could have like traded these guys off way earlier. But yeah, now I'm forced to block stuff. I can still trade something off. I have to. So that's... I can go down to 1 and trade stuff off, but then I'm dead to like literally everything. I mean, I'm dead to stuff next turn anyways. So I guess I just like, you know what? Like, I just get stuff off the board and go down to 1. They just kill me. Yeah. Well, let's see if they see the line. 4, 6. Oh, okay, I'm just dead then. Alright, that was not good. I actually did get a pretty early lead, but then I never managed to capitalize on it because I played too conservatively. So I guess the lesson here is that I should play less conservatively. Is Forgotten Cult... I mean, if Club Promoter is good, so I board out the 3 drops. That's probably correct. I'll just go with that. Esper and Spang I still think is not good in this matchup. Even though it technically does stuff, it doesn't actually do what you need it to do. Yeah. Alright, hopefully I get a better hand this time then. This hand is equally slow. Do I need a fast hand to win this? I mean, I kind of do, but at the same time, like... Well, actually, Archons aren't good either. Like, they're not good top-end targets for me. So I mulligan this and get a hand that has even less useful stuff. So I go down to 5, and this hand's still pretty bad. Good play. Well, I'm forced to keep this, and I guess I just bombed the expensive stuff. Yeah, I guess I just bombed the expensive stuff. So redeveloped Cityscape is going to be pitching Forest and fetching Plains Forest. Or maybe 2 plains. Do they have to be different lands? No, but 100-handed pillars, alright. Like, I can grab 2 plains, and that means that any 2-drop top decks I can't cast, but I have stuff on turn 3. Yeah, I think that's actually reasonable. Like, I kind of need to do this. Okay, I have more bash style, so yeah, it turns out it was probably correct. And this is like when I realized that they don't actually play that many early things for me to blow up, so this hand's also kind of garbage. Like, it has no ramp, it has a bunch of answers, but my opponent doesn't need to present threats early. I think I just have to hope to draw out of this. Mana Harvesters, okay, that's useful. It probably eats a counterspell, but that's fine. They let it happen, okay. I don't think they're ever going to jam Ifara. I think last game they probably had Ifara in hand for a bit, and then no, they didn't have Ifara in hand. I'm pretty sure they drew it like after I got board wiped. They definitely would have played Ifara way earlier. But yeah, like they're the kind of deck that doesn't need to play Ifara on 3, which is a problem for me because that means I have literally no good plays next turn. Okay, they are going to jam. Good. Okay, they made the play that was well, that's a lot of bash styles. But yeah, they made the play that's the best for me to have, for them to make. So I whacked them for 2, or I whacked them for 1, and I guess they can banish my banish, but if they do that, I'm just going to banish their banish. It also creates a cascading life gain effect. Actually, no, if they banish my banish, I'll just Club Promoter their banish. That ends it way faster. Yeah, that was expected. The good news is they don't have counterspell backup now, so yeah, I just Club Promoter their banish because I don't want to get into banish gaming. I mean, Drift Off gaming was funny because Drift Off had the ability to copy itself, so then you start just stacking a bunch of Drift Offs under each other. But banish is less funny because it's only 1 for 1. But like I guess every time a banish chain goes off, you gain a bunch of life. But yeah, I guess I mean, Club Promoter is better because it's an actual threat on the board. Yeah, I'll go with that logic. And they don't have 1 mana counter spells, right? Like, I'm not horribly misplaying by not playing. Or, I mean, I couldn't play a land anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, Club Promoter, blow up your banish, and banish your Fara again. Really going to drag it over to my side every time. Like, you know, you can attach your stuff to other people's cards, right? So if they board wipe, I'm in a bad situation because I literally have nothing. Wrath of Visionary would actually be a good top deck because that gets me cards and ramp. Seal away. Okay, yeah, that happens. And they have 3 mana now, so they're holding up Ifara's Judgment. Good news, I have literally nothing to use it. Good news is that I literally have no targets, so I can't even tempt myself into playing into it. Play Harvey Glade and pass. I mean, Club Promoter is a decent clock. They could also have Omen Slaughter end of turn to kill that, so then my clock stops and I have to top deck another threat. I'm up to 5 mana now, which means that like most of my cards are live to top deck. Only Consonance isn't a live top deck right now. They play Temple of Deceit and Scry, and they have a million lands right now. They have more mana than I do, which is funny. Okay, well I'm drawing lots of lands, so if I ever top deck Grand Consonance, it's going to be great. Okay, let me just check their mana. So this thing costs 7, 6 to activate, or so 7 other lands. 1 they can't activate this yet. Yeah, I swing and play District. Pass the turn. I think I'm in the like good top deck waiting zone. I think they're also in the top deck waiting zone right now. Archon. That's something that can get. Okay, what are they looking at? 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus target creep. Does the aura fall off? Yes, it does. If I try to enchant 100-handed pillar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have 7 other things, so they can fully tap out for 100-handed pillars if they want to. And I can't get rid of it. I actually have nothing in my deck that can blow that thing up, which is a problem, but that's annoying. I can swing to just force them to activate this thing. Or actually, I can Archon pre-combat to force them to counter it, and then swing with the Club Promoter, which means that it's going to be uncount, or they can't activate 100-handed pillars. I mean, would I rather hit their face for 3 or get an Archon out? I could also do both. Well, whatever I do, I think I want to play the Archon pre-combat. I could also just do nothing. That's also valid, but that's probably really bad. So probably shouldn't be doing that, but that's something I can do. Or maybe they're like too scared of what I possibly could have, where, yeah, I'm going to try to bluff them. They're not going to do anything. Cool. I got them. And yeah, I guess they're thinking about whether they want to just play down enchantments for no value so that they can start scrying with them. Or like they can also cycle with Fire Judgment if they want to. And they just pass. Good, that's good. I managed to waste their mana at the cost of wasting my own mana. I think they're actually a better late game deck than I am, which is actually a bad sign because, well, they bashed my thing. The good news is I can cast 2 bashes next turn, so like even if they have a counter spell, I can still eventually get the far gone. Do I want to target their banish, or do I just want like, because then that prevents banish change in the future? Piece of Whispered Knives. Yep, that happens. They have Infinite Devotion now, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 3 to activate. So they have 100-handed pillars up right now. And they're going to make me lose life. Alright. If are active, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not yet. Okay. So I think right now I want to swing with Club Promoter to force them to activate 100-handed pillars. Because Redeveloped Cityscape is bad because I have nothing good to exile. I play it out anyways because I could draw something good to exile. Like if I top deck a land, then I use this thing just so that I can cycle into another land. Or I mean, just so that I can actually get the land into play from this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7 minus 5 equals 3. So 1, yeah, it's exactsies. So I can swing with Club Promoter right now to force them to tap out. Alternatively, I can I can like banish. I can double banish to get their thing through counter spells. I think double banish is actually better right now, even though they do get a full value of Fire Judgment. No, they only get 2 modes, but they do get to counter and draw a card, which I don't want to happen. It's not like I actually have a good play if I like make them tap out because I just banish and then I have another banish left over that doesn't do anything. Yeah, technically I can banish their Feats of Whispered Knives, but I think I want to leave the second banish for any other banishes that they could have. So yes, I think I will go for double banish. Double banish is bad. Yeah, I'll just like try to trick them, and they take still because I mean yeah. So it looks like I managed to if I do nothing, they still keep Ephara in play, which I don't want to happen. Yeah, so unless they have two Omen of Deceptions, this will work out for me. They could have two Omen of Deceptions. That could be something that they have, and that would be extremely bad for me. In fact, I didn't think about that line, but yeah, I think I'm obligated to pay here because like playing a second batch is just as bad as paying for the first one. So yeah, I have to pay here, and I mean at least I managed. It's not even a 2-for-1 because they draw cards off these guys. Come on, don't have the second one. Yeah, I really hope that they're only playing these things out to catch. All right, that's a huge relief. Do I always get rid of the banish here? Yeah, I think I do because I also want to reduce their devotion. Okay, you can just like do it like this, right? Yeah, this is a mess. All right, so banish, banish, banish. I'm up to 30 now, which is funny. And yeah, I pass. No, I should play out redevelop cityscape and then pass. Yeah, I have redevelop. So I guess I'm not cracking that thing. I could crack it. Then I mean, if I crack it, then suddenly Constance top deck comes live. But actually, no, it's still live even if I don't, because then I just crack it and exile pitch one of my other cards to grab a land, and then play Constance afterwards. So yeah, no matter what happens, Constance top deck will be live. Other possible top decks, like if I top deck a land, then I crack redevelop cityscape using that land. Unless it's like the man land, then yeah, I keep redevelop cityscape uncracked. Oh, they have another banish. Oh god. All right, I guess we're doing this. We're really just doing this, aren't we? Well, are they tapping? They're playing it for on number 2. Interesting. So they still have enough for a Far's Judgment, which is troublesome. Oof. Okay, sure. So what? Well, I guess redevelop cityscape is pitching redevelop cityscape, and I can't complain too much about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, if I didn't have to like, how much does this cost to activate now? Well, this thing's a creature now, so it doesn't work out either ways. So they could be holding a Far's Judgment, but seeing as how they played, I don't think they do. I think they're actually just holding. No, like how much do I want to play into them having a Far's Judgment? I don't need to play around 2 Omen Deceptions, so no point in playing around that. So no reason to crack my redeveloped right now. They haven't played any Far's Judgments yet, so like it could be. It's very likely that they have one, or they could be holding up mana to crack Omen of Deception. Okay, so what's my plan if Banish gets countered? I play Archon. I can't play Archon Flip this turn, unfortunately. That's annoying. I guess I just go for it. Like I hope that my opponent doesn't have counter spells the line, because I can't let Ephara live, because letting it live means that they could have more counter spells in the future, and they do get 2 modes off Ephara's Judgment. But whatever. All right, please don't have counter spells. Come on, please don't have Ephara's Judgment. Just this one time, please. The shanking. Okay, that means that they don't have Ephara's Judgment, because if they did, they would be snapping this thing off. Unless they're thinking about what second mode to choose on Ephara's Judgment, in which case that's actually scary, because that means they're not thinking about the card draw. Okay, cool. All right, nice. So, right, yeah. Right, so then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that was kind of nuts. I cracked redevelop cityscape this turn so I can play a land. So in case I top deck a land, it actually doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter when I crack it, unless I get 2 land drops in a row. I mean, 2 land draws in a row. But yeah, so now like I'm really hoping to draw the mana land, because that thing is being reduced by 6. Yeah, I'm just going to crack this now. So I'm going to get the swamp because I actually do need all my colors, and I'll grab a forest because somehow I still don't have a forest yet, and I'll play out the forest. And yeah, last card in hand. They don't have discard, right? Like I've already checked, they don't have discard anywhere in their deck, so I don't have to worry about keeping cards in hand for discard. If they find another banish, then we're doing another banish cycle, which is also hilarious again. But like also yeah, I also have club promoters, so I think I have more stuff that blows up banish than they do. So like if we really get into a banish tug of war, then I technically have more things in my deck that win the tug of war. I guess they were thinking about whether they want to scry or not, and they decided not to. They're playing something expensive. Obvious Addy. Blushing with it. Alright, I guess I have to kill that thing now, which is annoying. Like whacking it down at least prevents the -3 from happening. Forest. Alright. Too bad Archon no longer hits non-land permanents. So I can Archon with no targets, which is bad into board wipes and stuff. I can swing at club. Okay, how are they doing for devotion? 1, 2, 3, 4. 7 minus 4. That's 3. So that's 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they have this thing up. Do I just play Archon as is? Like that means I'm playing empty-handed, but Archon isn't. Archon at least flies over 100-handed pillars. So my worst, like the thing I have to worry about the most is that Sylvius Addy -3s, and then I lose Archon plus Club Promoter. And like that's even like I don't think that's actually bad for them if they do that. So like I have to commit the board to get rid at Soviet. Well, I mean like if they -3, I can just swing Archon at it and kill that thing at least. So it goes even. Maybe I just hold. Like holding is bad for me though because they have the Planeswalker. I think I have to play stuff to the board, and then yeah, I can swing a Club Promoter, and me not having a way to kill mana lands is really hurting me right now. But yeah, I play Archon of Condemnation. See if they want to counter this. It doesn't really do anything on this board state. If this thing was a 5/5 Flying Menace, then this would have been doing a lot more too. Like there's a lot of things that would have been good if Archon wasn't nerfed. But I'm just going to play out my hand. They get the Scry end of turn, so they even get better draws than I do. Like they get the Scry, I just have to rely on the heart of the cards to top deck my Grand Constances. And they're like they could be digging for counter spells too. If they decide to minus Sylvius Addy, then they're going to plus it. Board wipe time? Yeah, board wipe. Okay, and they put this thing back on top. Well, at least it gets that thing off the board. Oh wait, it's a choose one. Okay, this doesn't kill Planeswalkers. That's really bad. Constant stop deck then. I mean they could have found a counter spell, but they only drew they drew 2 cards. Yeah, they could have counter spells in hand too. They haven't used any Far's Judgments yet, so it's very likely that they have some number of them. Yeah, Feast of Whisper. They have a bunch of Scry effects actually. Star-Studded is. I mean, it's a creature. I play it because it's a creature. I think I have to play it out. Yeah, like it's a creature, so I have to play it out. So yeah, 4 out of 40 top decks are Grand Constants. 1 out of 40. Oh, and now we're doing this Song and Dance again. All right, sure. Club Promoter will also be a good top deck now. Although the drop won't be active because I just played Starseed last turn. So, but yeah, so we have like several live top decks now, and they're going to start attacking my 35 life. Well, I guess there's no point in blocking right now. 4/6. Why is it a 4/6? I thought it was a 3/5. And okay, lose 2. You can actually choose from my life total pretty quickly if I don't get good draws. That's a forest. Yeah, play land and pass. This is my life now. I need a Grand Constance top deck. So I think at this point, Grand Constance top decks aren't that good because surely they have a counter spell. If I got like a man land top deck earlier, this would have also been useful. Like, do I have enough lands for a man land? No. Okay, and now they have creatures too. Yeah, this is suddenly turning south, and they're swinging too. If they swing out, it has vigilance, so it doesn't matter. And now they're drawing. They're just going to keep drawing cards. They're going to kill my Star-Studded. Oh, and another one. Cool. Is this what it feels like to not top deck Consonance every time I need it? They're spending a bunch of mana to draw a bunch of cards. Okay, they definitely have a counterspell now. If they didn't have one before, like they're up to 6 cards now. I mean, I think my deck is just inherently bad at playing these resource-heavy games. I mean, it's not bad at it, but it's just if I don't get if I don't outpace my opponent a lot in the early game, then we just get into these sorts of situations where they just outvalue me because they draw a million cards while I'm hoping that I top deck like I top deck 4 out of 38 cards. The Star said it's going to die anyways, so yeah, might as well use it to prevent some damage. No, it's not worth it. They're just going to shoot that, so then I might as well not give them the scry. So that's 8, 11. I'm down to 16 now. Yeah, I'm down to 14. One more, okay. And they kill that. Please. Why am I top decking 3 Star-Setteds in a row? This is not constant. I'm asking for a constant top deck. I'm not asking for Star-Setted top decks. Well, okay, so now I actually have to play this thing out as a chump blocker. Although it's not much of a chumper when I still break even damage-wise. Another Dormant Monstrosity. Yep. I think it's also part of like like the problem with the new Consonance decks, like post rotation, is that it just lacks the ability to go over the top in these sorts of matchups, because Wild Court Seeker was actually not so, not just as a 3-drop, but just like late game you get a 3-mana 5/5, or like just late game you get a 5/5 body to contest the board. You get a 5/5 body, and also it doesn't like come at a cost of taking up your gumming up your early game. And it's also like, so you suddenly have a thing that's great to play out early and also great to play out late, and which also makes it a really good Constance pick. Anyways, I'm assuming this gets countered. Cool. All right, so that's the end of the line for 4-color Constance. I don't really think there's that many improvements, or at least that many major improvements you can make to the deck. Like, the pieces are all there. It's just that the pieces are a lot weaker than pre-rotation, and you don't really have any choices for stronger pieces. So you just have to hope that stuff comes together. But yeah, I mean, I'm still going to keep playing for color Consonance, but I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to tune this deck, because I can't really spot anything that I can tune. Like, maybe I go into a different color, but I try going to blue, and blue sucks. I mean, you get some decent blue stuff, but then you get some decent blue top end, but then your mana sucks because your blue top end is double pipped, and then you have to cut like red, which means that you're losing out on cassette, and actually you only lose out on cassette. Huh. But why was I so reluctant about going in, like not going off blue? Oh yeah, it's because you don't actually have any good 3-drops or 3-drop ramp. The previous versions of like pre-rotation 4-color Constance had Wild Court in addition to Alrantha Visionary, so like you're rocking 6 to 8 pieces of 3-drop ramp, but now you're just stuck with Alrantha Visionary, because I've literally looked through every other 3-drop ramp. None of them are good, or none of them that impact the board are good. So I'm just like, I just have to make do with Alrantha Visionary, and I can't really contest the board if on 3 and stuff. And like that actually becomes really apparent in my games, because the games that I win are the games where I managed to get some rampers out early and then get into an early 5-drop or a Grand Constance. Like, we're not getting games where I drop Wild Court Seeker on 3 and it goes the distance. Yeah, but anyways, so that's the end of this month's REV GP. Hopefully we'll see you next time.